Hello and welcome. Thanks for clicking. I went to see Nosferatu for the second time this season. That's the little video at the beginning of this. I went with my niece Lily, and I just really enjoyed it. Has nothing to do with this video, but I thought it'd be a nice little outdoorsy thing to get us started. Today's video is going to be my response to the 2025 Beatles vinyl tag as designed by Patricia at A Little Beatles Corner. So I'm going to link to the original video below. Please go over and visit Patricia. She has a great channel. She describes herself as a first-generation Beatles fan. Let's jump into the tag. She has 15 prompts. The first prompt is favorite Beatles holiday song and tell us why. So to me, there's really no question what my favorite is. This is John Lennon's Shaved Fish. It's a compilation album of his singles and stuff. It was the first time I heard Happy Christmas, War is Over. And that is by far my favorite Beatles Christmas song. None of the other ones really I don't like at all. Just always loved it. Always thought it was a great message. And of course, John Lennon has always been my favorite Beatle. The second prompt is favorite Beatles album cover, any country. And so all the Beatles album covers I think are great. All the Canon albums I believe are just beautiful. I thought I would do something a little differently and show a compilation record. This is a Canadian pressing, the Beatles Ballads. The artist is John Patrick Byrne, and I've just always loved this cover. Number 3, show your favorite Beatles colored vinyl or picture disc. So I have this, I'm pretty sure it's a bootleg, but I have this picture disc of the Beatles as Matadors. Then on the other side is just kind of random shots of John Lennon. I can't even remember what's on this record. I remember it not being too thrilling. And then for a more legitimate record, I like, as a picture disc, I like this Yellow Submarine single. I bought this thinking that it was a pre-owned record and that it had been opened and played. This has not been opened or played. I want to open it and play it, but I can't get myself to do it. But I've always liked this. I just think that little Yellow Submarine is just cute. Number 4. Show favorite Beatles 45 picture sleeve from any country. So this is my favorite. I love this era, this Magical Mystery Tour era, the White Album, Sgt. Pepper's, this era of Beatles. I just love it. And I just love this photo. This is the UK version. This is my favorite 45 picture sleeve record. Number 5, show your favorite from the last 3 Beatles songs and then rank all 3. So we're talking about Now and Then, Free as a Bird, and Real Love. And this is my favorite, Now and Then. And it's a surprise favorite. I remember when this was released, it was a big build up about this record coming out, and I was listening to the Beatles channel on Sirius XM, and I was real excited about it. And I remember listening, I was at work, so I did have some distractions, but I was listening to it and I just was a little underwhelmed, and I'm like, well, that's not very good. And I don't know what happened, but a day or two later I heard it on the radio and it really grabbed me. And now I get excited every time it comes on. Now the cover, uninspired, I think. Even this thing is a little not that exciting. I wish it was packaged with a little more zing, but I really do like the song. And then the other two in order, Free as a Bird would be my second and Real Love number 3, but those two could probably be interchanged depending on the day. Show your most unusual Beatles vinyl or compact disc. I had trouble with this one. There were a lot of things I consider unusual, but this is the one I'm most excited about. I guess this Magical Mystery Tour. This is the Horzu pressing from Germany. This is the one where the true stereo is used on both sides of the record, and it's just renowned for its excellent sound, and it does. It sounds really good. I don't play my unusual Beatles record. 7. Show a Beatles single that has a better B-side than A-side. So this is going to sound like a repeat of something I've already said, but I have this 45. It was actually made for jukeboxes only, is what it says on here. And side A is Yellow Submarine. Look at that color there, beautiful. And then side B is Eleanor Rigby. How Eleanor Rigby takes a back seat to Yellow Submarine, I'll never understand. 8. But show a favorite Beatles song that was covered by another artist or band. There's a lot of great cover songs out there that I've heard that I've really enjoyed. But this is one that I have. Ray Charles on this record does a version of Let It Be, which I really enjoy. So Ray Charles covering Let It Be on his album True to Life. Number 9, a favorite song that was covered by the Beatles. To me, Twist and Shout is the most exciting song, cover song they've done. I like a lot of their cover songs. I like Roll Over Beethoven and Dizzy Miss Lizzie. But Twist and Shout has that exciting sound that just grabs you. This is on my EP, the Twist and Shout EP. Show the worst 3 songs that the Beatles wrote. So, you don't really want to say the Beatles wrote terrible songs because, they rarely did. But there are a few songs that I'm just not excited to hear when they come on the radio. First one is The Inner Light, the one written by George Harrison. It just, for some reason, it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't mind the Eastern instrumentation or anything, but I like it when it's used subtly, like in Norwegian Wood. But George really jumped into it, and on the Inner Light, that Eastern music, and then these lyrics to me that sound like they're supposed to be really deep and profound. To me, they're not that deep and they're not that profound. The other one that I always think of about songs I'm not particularly fond of is You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. And that was the B-side of Let It Be. That song is fine the first couple times you hear it, but it wears on me pretty quickly. I know a lot of the Beatles said it was one of their favorite songs, and I'm sure it was fun to do and record, but to me it's just not that fun after 1 or 2 listens. And then finally, this one will probably get me into trouble, The Word. Something about the word seems very sophomoric to me. Say the word and be like me. Say the word, it'll set you free. It annoys me a little bit. But show the last Beatles product you bought. Vinyl, CD, memorabilia, or a book. The last thing I bought was this giant box set from Japan. It's called From Liverpool, and it has 8 records in it. It's it's a compilation album, but it has a lot of interesting mixes on it. It's a very interesting collection of Beatles records and versions of songs. This is the last thing I bought, but the last thing that came into my house was this Beatles Lego set. Now I got this as some VCLT from Steve at A is for Alice, B is for Bob. He sent this to me. This is the last Beatles thing that came into my house, and I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping to put it together with my daughter, or more likely have my daughter put it together and then I take a picture of it. Number 12. Show an ongoing Beatles collection that you are trying to complete. So one thing I want to do is I've just been buying kind of random singles. I would like to get all the official Beatles singles. I would like to finish that collection. The other thing that I would like to do, I don't have any right now, but I would like to collect all the Beatles Christmas records that they did for their fan clubs. I know there's a set out on vinyl. I would like to have maybe that and maybe one or two actual flexi-disc copies. Those are how they originally came out. Those are probably way too expensive for me, but it'd be nice to have at least one of those. And then the other thing I want to finish, I have just about all the Beatle records that most people would consider their canon, but I do not have a copy of Let It Be Naked on vinyl yet. I have it on CD, but I don't have it on vinyl, and I would like to have it on vinyl this year. 13. Show a prized possession in your Beatles collection and tell its story. Now, I've told this story before, but it's probably the most exciting record I got this year regarding the Beatles. The Beatles yesterday and today. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? From the Butcher album cover. So the Butcher album cover, I'll put a picture up so everybody knows what I'm talking about. The Butcher album cover is kind of a rare thing, but I was really so excited to get this. I was in an antique shop and I was looking through records, and I think I had a Beatles t-shirt on or something. I wear a lot of Beatles t-shirts. And the woman behind the counter said, "Do you like the Beatles?" And I said, "Yeah." And she says, "Do you know what this is?" And she showed that to me, and I think my niece was with me. And I said, "Oh my God, that's a Beatles Second State." And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "How much does that go for?" And they were asking $1,500. So I was a little crazy. It actually ran through my mind that maybe I would get it, but I didn't. Well, months went by and I ended up visiting the store again, and just out of curiosity I said, "Hey, how much is that Beatles record?" They kept it behind the counter. They didn't keep it out for people to look at. I said, "Is that Beatles record still here?" And they said, "Yeah." And then the woman said, "Yeah, we've decided we'd go down to $1,000 on this." I left the next day. I was actually driving there to buy it. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll buy it for $1,000, which is insane. I don't have $1,000 to spend on a record, but I was so pumped up to finally see one that I really wanted it. I actually walked in the store, and then as I was walking in the door, I was like, everybody would kill me if I bought a record for $1,000. So I walked in, and then I kind of looked at some other records, and I left. And I walked in again a few months later, and I buy some other records they had there. And as I'm checking out, and I said, "Is that Beatles Second State Butcher album still here?" And he said, "Yeah," and he pulled it out, and I just wanted to look at it. And he said, "I'll sell it to you for $500. And I broke. I bought that record for $500. My excuse being that I'm insane, and also My daughter Luxie is going to get all my Beatle records after I pass on. And I thought, you know, it'd be nice if she had something kind of exciting and worth something. So it's kind of going to be an heirloom. So that's my most prized possession, and that's the story behind it. Number 14, show your favorite Beatles product that came out in 2024 and tell us why. So I got the Mind Games box set from John Lennon. I got the one hand clapping McCartney and Wings. But what I was most excited about was the US mono re-releases of the 1964 records. Now, I didn't buy the whole box set, but I did buy 3 of the records. And I don't know, there was just something very exciting about getting these in a nice mint condition, and they play so well. And then it came with all these nice extras. It was just kind of exciting again. It was nice to reintroduce myself to these Beatle records, and I've enjoyed them a lot since. And this is 15, and it's the last prompt. What Beatles product would you like to see coming in 2025? Well, my answer is probably not very interesting, because I'm sure most Beatle fans are thinking or hoping that Rubber Soul is going to get its own box set treatment. And that's what I'm hoping for. So that is the answers to my Patricia at A Little Beatles Corners prompts. Please go over and visit her channel. She's has a lot of great information, and just a sweet woman. I hope I did you proud, Patricia, and I'll see everybody next time.